welcome back to r/NPD, the series where we review posts from the Narcissistic Support Group subreddit and offer to the anonymous individuals of the site professional support. I'm Sophia Vandermeer, published author, NLP practitioner and cognitive behavioural specialist. So without further ado, let's jump in. User Shia Kafir posts, I don't want my NPD to go away. I thrive on this. This is what sets me apart. This is who I am, smarter than everyone around me. Everything I do, I knowingly do for supply, and I'm good at getting it. If I stop, there'll be nothing left. Okay, so it is fairly common within the medical field to come to identify with chronic illnesses. For an individual to base their identity on the fact that while they are afflicted, others treat them differently and thus in turn value their ailment. Humanity is born with a desperate need for individuality. While it is true that our base levels, we're pack animals, relying on one another for, if not survival, then prosperity. However, as we grow older, our understanding of the world shifts from a perspective where we rest at its immediate centre to where we cognitively recognise our own stature in the place of reality. I say that this recognition is cognitive because the human mind is ultimately limited. If I were to ask you to double the thickness of a piece of paper, starting at 1 millimetre thickness and double that 103 times, each time doubling the thickness of the step before, how thick do you imagine that would be? The answer is that it would reach a thickness of 93 million light years, with a thickness spanning the width of the observable universe. Which is to say that while it is possible for us to state such numeracy, we can't properly imagine it within our minds. Yet even people who claim to cannot do so more than cognitively. Our mind is a machine, and it is limited. All this is to state that the human can never truly come to grips with its own insignificance. To some extent, we all feel as if we are the centre of reality, and for our own existence, that very much holds true. The OP finds this individuality, as do many others, within the physical and observable differences they can identify in others. I've stated before, and it's true, that narcissists base their worldview on observable and provable examples of evidence, or on cognitive distortions that have a secondary gain to their identity. Some narcissism is good. It's what motivates us to look after ourselves and be confident, taking on new challenges and growth. If, however, it removes all empathy and capacity to take accountability, then that becomes unhealthy for others to be around. The OP sees their disorder as a point of provable differentiation. They use that as a centre from which they can adjust and pivot their understanding of the world around them. That is why it is a factitious disorder. Munchausen syndrome exists for those, and for those who don't know, this disorder occurs when, in order to feel special, an individual will repeatedly feign, even occasionally to the point of self-belief, criteria and physical signs of various illnesses, so that they may be treated better and thus feel individual, and get that individuality that they desperately crave. All this is to say that the OP's brand of thinking could be quite unhealthy. William Butler Yeats once wrote in his poetry, The Second Coming, that the centre cannot hold. The concept that for all our efforts, everything must change. However, an individual always need to see themselves as special. What I'm asking you then is to base it on something better. Validate yourself on something worthwhile. Rule something worth ruling. Go out and win, but do so in a way that makes you proud and that brings out the best in others.